might have seen these lights slow down your drive to work this morning. It was a real mess. Southaven police say that people were shooting each other while driving down I-55. Action News 5's Michaela Redmond breaks down the chaos that impacted today's early commute.
According to Southaven Police Department, two vehicles were shooting at each other here along I-55 sometime before 6:30 a.m. Residents I spoke to say it's scary, but unfortunately it's not surprising. Flashing blue lights, investigators combing through the scene, and I-55 shut down for hours. Southaven Police Department says this was the result of a shootout on the interstate.
Most people in 6, 7 o'clock in the morning are going to work. And, they don't have time for that kind of foolishness.
Sadly, SPD says one person was found dead near Church Road.
It's just real sad, though, about the whole shooting. I just hope we all could do better as a people.
SPD later said it looks like the victim died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Shortly after the shooting, Memphis Police Department says 2 additional shooting victims arrived at Methodist South, and that shooting took place on I-55 near Shelby Drive. A female and a male with non-critical injuries. And MPD says the male refused treatment and left the hospital before officers arrived.
I'm really not too surprised on anything that people do now. I used to, but things have gotten so bad now, it's almost the norm.
MPD believes the 2 incidents are connected, and investigators are working with SPD. Reporting in Southaven, Michaela Redmond, Action News 5.